This didn't happen to me, thank God. But my buddy used to be a correctional officer, and he told me a crazy story once about one of the inmates. An older man who lived alone was asleep in his bed one night. He heard his doorbell ring, and when he got up to look out the window, he could see a young man standing out on his porch. Speaking through the door, the old man asked the young guy what he wanted. The young guy replied that his pregnant girlfriend was in the back seat of the car and seemed to be in serious pain. The young guy said he pulled over and dialed 911 already. He was just hoping the old man could spare a glass of water and some towels. When emergency crews later arrived, they found the old man rocking in his chair on his front porch, clutching a shotgun in his lap and wiping tears from his eyes. The young man was lying face down in the kitchen, riddled with buckshot pellets. At his trial, the old man would claim self-defense, but ultimately he was found guilty and sentenced to serve the rest of his life in prison. 7 years later, a retail worker was arrested for fraud after they tried falsifying information in the computer system. This was just another charge that would be added to an already lengthy criminal history. The worker was facing serious time, but the prosecution still offered him a deal due to their knowledge of other illegal activities. And while the retail worker was spilling all the beans, they told detectives about a home they and their boyfriend planned to rob years before. The boyfriend had stepped inside of an old man's house, and after hearing the gunshots moments later, out of fear, the girlfriend drove off into the night, never saying anything to anyone about what happened. Thanks to the worker's statements, the old man got some much needed good news. He was notified that he was free as soon as his paperwork went through. Though it took weeks, the day finally came when he was to be released. And being that the old man was a kind and respectable man, my prison guard buddy wanted to say goodbye to him that morning. But when he got to work, the old man's cell had already been cleaned out. He asked his coworkers what happened, and they told him it seemed like the old man had passed overnight in his sleep. The old man was one out of a very small group that every prisoner got along with. So when the news spread, a gloomy energy shift could be felt throughout the entire facility. A few months later, while my buddy was at work one day, one of the inmates discreetly passed him an envelope. When he got a chance to open it, he realized it was a letter from the old man. Most of the letter talked about sports and philosophy, two subjects my friend and the old man would discuss all of the time. But my buddy said the last paragraph threw him for a loop. The old man said he didn't want to ruin the surprise too early, but that he wanted to congratulate my friend on the good news. One boy and one girl. My buddy's wife had just found out she was pregnant that week. 6 months later, she gave birth to twins. That's insane.